Hello friends, welcome back and thank you for joining me. If you're new, I'm Lene and I'm an author, a physician, and a lifestyle enthusiast. I serve the individual on a journey toward living their best life by providing tips, tricks, and techniques aimed to empower you to live a life of purpose and passion. If you want to learn how to live more intentionally alongside me, then you have come to the right place. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever wondered what it would take to feel more accomplished and satisfied with life at the end of each day? Have you ever wondered if there are simple habits that you could start to implement now to start feeling that way more often? Yeah, me too. But as promised, I want to outline the exact opposite of an unintentional day. In my last post, I provided an overview of what an uninspired, unintentional, and unmotivated day looks like. You can view that video down below. These days, I strive to live an intentional life. And do I get it right every day? Absolutely not. However, I do have the tools and techniques that I feel will help me out if I am slipping out of sync. I've inserted many of my personal habits into this typical day that I'm going to explain to you, and it takes place in a corporate day, even though I'm not really working in the corporate world anymore. Let me take you on a journey. Imagine with me, if you will, that the inspiration for your day begins the day before. So during your lunch hour, an alert goes off on your phone reminding you to schedule your next day. In addition to your lunch hour and your scheduling routine, you have in place an evening routine that prepares you for the next day. And at 4:57, you wake up minutes before your alarm goes off. Interestingly enough, 5 a.m. is when you choose to wake up, and you've trained your body over a few months' time to joyfully bounce out of bed in anticipation for your new day. So you love the morning hours because you have established a fantastic morning routine that touches on some important areas of your life: your health, your happiness, and your connection to humanity. In an effort to address each of these areas, you jump on your mini trampoline for 5 minutes, you drink a quart of water, you have a cup of tea or coffee while you read an inspiring spiritual text. You take some time to meditate or to pray, you journal what you've learned and accomplished in the last 24 hours, and you finish your routine with exercise for 20 to 30 minutes. After your morning routine, you begin reviewing your passion project that you're working on. You have already created a task list that comprises the intricate elements of a personal goal that is part of your passion project. From your task list for the week, you select a one must, and you decide that today you're going to write 2 paragraphs for your blog. And when you're working on your personal tasks or a big project, you choose the Pomodoro method for focused work sprints, and you set a timer on your phone for 25 minutes. You work, and then you take a 5-minute break and do some yoga stretches. Now it's time to prepare for your up-and-coming day. You take 15 minutes to strategically go through all your emails. This is not time to formulate lengthy responses. On the contrary, you just find your to-do list from a few of the emails. If your emails only take 1 minute to respond to, you do so. If they're going to take a little bit more, you set them aside. Archive them or put them in one of your folders. Now there's no outstanding digital clutter to distract you today. From your emails and your work schedule for the day, you know exactly what you should focus on. You've chosen 3 priorities and the one must task. You've scheduled time for these tasks in your workday. You quickly take time to review your notes for this morning's meeting before heading out the door. In the car, you listen to 3 minutes of pre-recorded affirmations that you have created, and each affirmation includes one of your 10 goals for the year. You visualize each one completed, and you visualize it in the present tense as though it's already been accomplished. And thinking about your dreams really energizes you for the day. Once you complete your affirmations, you listen to the next chapter of a new audiobook that is teaching you a fascinating skill that will help you perform better in your position at work. While traffic is painfully slower today, it doesn't matter because you have allowed plenty of time and cushion into your commute, and you're happily enjoying the information being fed to you through your speakers. You arrive to work 15 minutes prior to your first meeting, giving you plenty of time to fill your water bottle, gather your items, and be on time a little bit early as well to your meeting. You take 60 seconds to think about the qualities you want to exude during your presentation, and you imagine your colleagues feeling inspired, joyful, and engaged. You nail your presentation. It goes exactly as you envisioned the night before, and your boss seems really impressed that your perspective and unique approach is a fascinating delivery of the information. Later that morning, when a colleague knocks on your door and demands some of your time, you let her know that you definitely want to help her, but she has a choice. She can choose 5 minutes of your time now, or she can schedule time with you tomorrow at 10 a.m. after your morning meeting when you have 30 minutes open. Today, you know that you will need the rest of the day to prepare for the conference call. She says 5 minutes now is fine. And when she starts to bring up concerns that you know will take longer than 5 minutes, you kindly remind her that while your 5 minutes is now up, you would be more than happy to assist her first thing tomorrow after your meeting and during your 30-minute window. You'll schedule it now so that it's a priority for her. She is understanding and thankful that you took the time to do so. In an effort to remain focused though, you have 2 sets of time each day to check your email. You have already created a to-do list from your 15-minute email scan this morning. Your second time is at 2 p.m. You've created an automatic responder that notifies each sender of these times. If it's an emergency, they can call you or text you. All other times during the day, your notifications are off. No bells, no pop-ups, no distractions. You don't allow other people's agenda to distract you from your mission and your priorities for the day. Before you settle into your preparations for your conference call and creating the necessary reports, you decide to walk over to your boss's office and check in. Before you make the trek to your boss's office, you take 1 minute to ask what outcome you want from this meeting and what kind of feelings do you want to generate while in her office. And again, you determine that you want to leave the room feeling inspired, joyful, and engaged. These are your favorite qualities that you're cultivating in your life. And after some brief banter that makes her smile, you let her know that you wanted to check in and tell her that you're working on a marketing campaign and that you saw her email this morning about needing the projections for the year. You make an effort to keep your phone in your pocket, maintain eye contact, and mimic her body language to keep your countenance peaceful and joyful. You ask her if there are any additional items that she will need for you to make a priority for today's meeting. Then you head off to your lunch. And while most folks work through their lunch, you know that your body needs nutrition and that a healthy break from the busy, semi-fast-paced morning is absolutely necessary. During this time, you don't check emails or work on any project. Instead, you eat at a picnic table outside and enjoy the sun and fresh air. This is your time to clear your mind and think about how you want the rest of your day to go. You remind yourself to look out for those in need. You put your schedule into your phone, schedule your next day, making sure that tomorrow's morning routine is included. You head back to your desk feeling refreshed, rejuvenated, and focused. On the way back to your desk, you walk around and briefly say hi to some folks that are in your department. You use this time to move your body due to the fact that you are sitting for a greater portion of the day. You have read the research that supports regular movement and improved productivity in the workplace. So you have an alert set on your phone that reminds you to get up and walk around every 50 minutes. You make sure to keep your conversation short though. The goal is to connect, but to stay focused on your tasks at hand. About an hour before your conference call, you take the time to call your boss and make sure that you both are on the same page with your projections and ask for her approval in order to send them out before the meeting. You then head over to the copier and see that the copy machine is in use and your colleague is making 150 copies of the newsletter. You take this time to ask her how her day is going and notice that she's wearing your favorite color. She seems flattered and appreciative. She offers to let you cut in front of her and make your copies, but given that you have plenty of time, you let her know that you'll return in 10 minutes. After getting your copies completed, you gather your items needed for today's meeting. The meeting isn't for another 15 minutes, however, you like to be a minimum of 5 minutes early. You take 1 minute to text your spouse and let him know that you will be leaving promptly at 6 p.m. You ask him to open a bottle of Chateauneuf de Pape and tell him that you are excited to see him, you love him, and that you are looking forward to spending time with him. You take an additional minute to visualize your presentation. You see yourself bringing joy into the room, engaging with each colleague, and creating inspiration from what is typically a rather boring topic. You determine the outcome that you want and visualize it coming to fruition. You see your boss smiling and congratulating you on a great presentation. Now it's exactly 6 p.m. Your colleagues pull you aside and have some questions regarding your statistics that you shared a few minutes ago. You kindly let them know that you are happy to explain, however, you will be able to provide a full explanation in the morning. Right now, you have a spouse that you need to get home to. You kindly wish them all a great evening and let them know when you are free the following day. You've noticed that creating such boundaries has fostered trust and respect between you and those you work with. You know that your time is valuable and that you will be honest with them, and more importantly, that you will, in turn, respect their time. On your drive home, you see that it's time to check in with a family member, and so you quickly determine the outcome that you want from this conversation, the feeling you want to generate, and you remind yourself to look for opportunities to serve them. The conversation goes exactly as planned, and your heart feels full. As you pull up into the driveway, you think about how you want to surprise your spouse with a thought, an idea, or gift. You provide him with a warm, intentional kiss and remind him of the qualities that you respect and admire. You ask him about his day. You spend the evening sharing stories. You decide that you want to brainstorm an up-and-coming vacation and take time to plan vacations every 90 days. These little mini vacations of 3 to 4 days give you both something to look forward to and provide a way to check in and to reboot your relationship. And then at 8:30 p.m., you start your preparation for the next day. You don't want any emissions from your television or cell phone to affect your sleeping habits, so everything is on night mode. You throw a few healthy foods into your crock pot to get ready for lunch tomorrow, then you stretch, and then you do your 10-minute meditation. After your meditation, you pick up your journal and write down 3 things that made you smile today. And if you have anything pressing on your mind, you write the question down in your journal and trust that your brain will solve the issue while you sleep. And then you let it go. You tell yourself you'll sleep soundly, and you do. The next morning, you wake at 5:57 on the dot with a feeling of anticipation and joy. It's going to be a great day. You may be thinking, Lene, that's great. You attempt to do all these things every day? That is way too much for me, and I can't even decide where I'm going to start. That's okay. I don't have it all figured out, and I don't do all these things every day. It has been a process of adding one habit at a time to each day over years of trial and error. So ask yourself, what is one thing that you could start doing today? Is it get up 15 minutes earlier? Perhaps put a smile on your face when you get out of bed? There are so many simple ways that you can enhance your day and live a more inspiring, intentional, and motivating life. Let me know what habit you're going to start today, and leave your comment below. I would love to hear from you. And if you found this post useful and you know someone who can benefit from it, then please share it. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. It means a lot to me. And as always, remember, supercharge your health, satisfy your soul, and simplify your lifestyle. Mwah.